themselves. And that has been made public. I think many of you have seen this program in newspapers. There are two components. The first one is what we call social safety net programs. These are really programs designed to help the poorer members of society. The first is that we are looking towards job creation. That's one of the other things I want to say. That when you think about removing this subsidy and moving the resources towards areas that will create jobs for our youth, because that's what is the main problem in this economy. So we are looking at youth employment programs. Some of the resources will be used to create, particularly in states and in areas where there are many unemployed youth, both unemployed and youth who are not skilled, as well as the skilled ones. You must have heard of this new program, You Win, where we are trying to help young entrepreneurs to expand their businesses. Some of the money will go towards that. The other is urban mass transit, to improve the transit within the urban areas for those who have less money within the society to be able to move around easily, whether by bus or by train, light rail. And then vocational training schemes. In this country, typically when we are building a house or a building, we plumbers, welders, carpenters, you find that many of them come from neighboring countries. Not from Nigeria, they're from Togo, they're from Benin. Why? When we have our young people here, why can't we train them to be able to render those services? Why are we getting unemployed people from elsewhere? Well, what we have determined is that working in collaboration with the states, several of whom are doing some of these vocational programs, we are going to scale up and be able to train our youths to do that. Then maternal and child health services, particularly for our women in rural areas. It is unconscionable that in this country women die in such large numbers in childbirth. When we have the answer, it is because we are not providing them access to the rural health services that they need. Children die because they don't have access to health services and immunization. Part of this money will go towards establishing that and scaling it up, again working with the states in many of our rural areas. So those are the safety nets. And the last part are visible infrastructure projects, those projects that Nigerians have been looking for improvement in this country. Projects in roads and rail, we are going to improve that. And you have a booklet, I don't know if it has been distributed, that actually spells out, and then Honorable Minister of Petroleum Resources is going to be talking about this too, to explain. We have projects in roads and rail, in water resources to help us with our agriculture, in power, and in other types of infrastructure that we are going to be looking at. These are projects that when you walk around, you will see them. So you'll be able to hold government accountable. And then there will be a board that will be set up that will be headed by Nigerians. When you hear their names, you will know these are people with integrity. Instead of the government telling you that this is what is happening, those people will be able to tell you, how is this program being run? Is it being done transparently? Are they really delivering? And they'll be also able to make account to the Nigerian people. So this board will have representation from youth also, women, civil society, labor, and so on. So these are some of the mechanisms we've talked about to build trust. At the end of the day, the only way you can really get the trust of Nigerians is to implement and deliver these programs. That's the only way. And that's what the government intends to do. And it intends to do it in a way that you will be able to see because you'll have the information. So this is, in a nutshell, these are the facts that I want to put before you, and I think will form the basis for us to then have a conversation about this issue and enable people to decide where to go with it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so very much. The coordinating minister on the economy, who has put out quite a few information for you. As we're on, one of the veterans of the labor movement, currently elected governor of Edo State, walked in, Adams Oshomole. We will invite him at the right time. So we don't want it to be government and the people. I want to have a conversation. We've heard from the coordinating minister. I just want a quick response, very quick response, not more than 3 minutes, from the veteran of civil society struggles, Olisa Abakuba. be fair. Well, I thank you, Nduka, and I think it's a very good opportunity for us all to be here to discuss. But the first misconception is that civil society is there, government is there. It's about Nigeria. What we want to do is, what can we do to get things going? I have nothing, and I said so with my brother Femi, and the Ngozi was there, Dizani was there, when we met the president. But conceptually, there's nothing wrong with the free market. Conceptually. Also, conceptually, there's nothing wrong with subsidies. Otherwise, no British politician can abolish the NHS. No British politician can touch the NHS that spends about 53 billion. If you do so, you are dead. You can't touch it. President Obama is pushing a new health reform bill to introduce 13 million displaced and dispossessed Americans to have socialized medicine. So let's stop this nonsense about subsidies being a bad thing. Government doesn't have the resources. That's understandable. So we have to look for new ways. One of the new ways, of course, is can we remove subsidy from petroleum? I think it's a good idea. But there are also issues I have. Is there really a subsidy? I don't have the answers. Is there really a subsidy? We need to be careful. If there is, how much is the subsidy? Is the institutional, legal, and regulatory environment ready? Do we want to create do we want to transfer assets from state actors to private kleptocrats? Think about all that. Reference is made to GSM. I want to understand how Nigeria can run without a competition environment. MCC is not doing enough to regulate the telecom business. So, once I have free phone, but MTN is exporting everything to South Africa. So how do I know that the subsidy going will benefit Nigerians? These are the concerns. Nobody is against government discussing how it can work better. The Deputy Minister has done something fantastic in the ports, because that's my area. It now takes about 10 days to clear your roads. That's her work. So obviously she's doing something important. So we are not carrying an opposition cap, no. We are simply saying that the information exchange needs more interlocution. Must we do subsidy tomorrow? Can't we take, say, 1 year? They discuss very well. Oronto is our friend here. He knows where to find us. Let's discuss more. If at the end of 1 year, government really needs to have subsidy removed, I don't think everybody will say no. We also need to have government sacrifice. I was just thinking, I may be wrong, I don't have the figures. I'm sure that Ladido may correct me. But maybe each of these governors, where is the Adams who was here? Maybe each of these governors will have 3 billion security votes. Do I hear them say they will give up 50% of it into the pot? Because if you look at the book put out, what we're looking for, this is government blueprint. What we're looking for is 1 trillion naira. So this is the Nigerian family. Okay, I put 1 million. We're going to how much? Adams, how much? The government is not showing any example. The British Prime Minister was that day at the airport, like a private citizen. So when you want to put a bubble in us, show us the one you are carrying. We have sacrificed for Nigeria, so nobody can tell me I'm not patriotic. I've had a broken eye, I've been in prison, my passport taken, and I'm 58, I started at 28. You think I don't want to live a good life? Why should I have 2 universities in my house in Ikoyi, the top place in Lagos? Why should I have a borehole? Government has not done anything for me since I was born. So, subsidy is not, let's not give subsidy a bad name. Subsidy is not a bad thing. The American government subsidizes. The European Union going through its crisis did the unthinkable. They conducted the military equivalent of a coup d'etat by removing two popularly elected governments in Greece and in Italy to save their system. It shows you how far they can go. Yes, I wonder. It shows you how far they can go to get their system correct. So, in conclusion, nobody is against subsidy removal, but the information is missing. If you show us the challenges and create the relevant frameworks, I can assure you we will come along. When I spoke to the president, I was you were there. In my own small sector, I can mobilize people to raise 7 trillion naira. And nobody takes me on that. I can mobilize people. It is a okay. Let me stop at this stage. Thank you very much. Olisa Alpakova. Certainly, he wants to raise money for government. However, I think when he's saying that subsidy is not the bad thing. But I'm sure that the finance minister will have to tell us also later how many areas of subsidy we have in the economy. How much subsidy do we have on gas to the extent that we can have power? How much subsidy do we have across the gamut? So let us understand the whole range of subsidy. I just want to have an informed discussion. So that is the position from Olisa, the veteran of the civil society. He says, look, he just needs more information and maybe there are other ways of doing it. But we invite the Minister for Petroleum Resources, in whose stead the subsidy is. I can tell you straight away, she's a minister, she just obeys government policy. So let her tell us where we are.